Hey ladies, I wanted to do a video on how to take apart the inserts and kind of put them back together to your own liking. Someone asked this question and I was like, oh, I know someone else who does that. Go find them. And then I was like, okay, you're being kind of a jerk. So I'm going to show you how to do it. First things first is pick your inserts. I have one of these handy dandy staple removers, but like a butter knife would work. And I lifted them up and I kind of left them like that because it's not going to hurt anything to close it back up and stick it on the shelf. But if you wanted to, you could just take the staples out and have them loose, or just do them all at once. Now I've done some prep work and I have sewn together this one and this one, and I am going to show you how I do that. Okay, so where did my thing go? Seriously? Okay. You're going to have to bear with me. I'm still able to breathe at the moment, and I'm doing a little better, but I don't know that that's going to stay consistent. So I'm just trying to film a bunch of videos while I'm able to. So this is called an awl, A-W-L, and I bought mine on Amazon. Now, I find that if you punch even numbers, this works better. But, and also, you don't even have to do this. This is just something I do, but the 4 holes that are already there, they're sufficient. Or if you have bigger inserts, they might have more holes. Excuse me. So, this is how I do it. It's kind of like a figure 8 serpentine type thing. Anyone can do this. You don't have to have any sewing skills. I am just using a regular sewing needle. This one's a little more blunt, and I actually use it for this specific project. I've done it in the past because this is not my first bookbinding exercise. I do have like a long arm stapler, and you can use that as well. If you have a long arm stapler, you don't even have to trouble yourself with this. But this is for those who don't have one of those. And if you even just have like one of those tiny little sewing kits, you could, I think they sell them in like the Target or Walmart travel section. You can use that. So I am using embroidery floss because I have lots of it. And what I do is embroidery floss comes with like 3 little strands that are plied together, and I separate them so that this is just 2 strands that I'm working with. Okay, see, I'm just going in and out, in and out. You can see how I'm doing it. Hopefully I'm staying within the frame. Please forgive me if I'm not. I am trying my best today. And again, the lighting and the sun went down. I don't know, nothing's going right now. Okay. So, see how if you do an even number, it just works out perfectly like that? Lovely. And again, it's not super tight, it's fine, whatever. It does not have to be perfect. Because really, a lot of this is superfluous. The elastic is going to keep it together, but I am doing this for more than one reason. Okay, reason number 1 is so that you can see how to do it. If you wanted to just take apart your booklets and make a mega booklet, or just stack them all up and do one booklet, then that's all you really need, and you go right through your cover, the whole 9 yards, that's fine. But we're going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, this is the month at a glance. It kind of only works like this, right? Now in the future, I'll just save like 1/2, but for this one, I decided, let's make it interesting, complicate the situation, right? Okay, so I am going to do them. Let's do them in this order. That's fun. Okay, so I have 3 booklets, And this is how we're going to do it. Now there is something called Coptic bookbinding. This isn't quite the same thing, but it's in the same vein where you bind booklets together, kind of like this. That's like a whole thing, and you can go to school for that. And again, like, there's knots, and I am not gonna fuss about it or trouble myself over it because I don't need to. For the most part, the whole traveler's notebook setup is quite clever, and you don't need to do too much to get it to stay together. The way it's designed kind of does that for you. And again, if you don't have stapler, or if you don't have a needle and thread, even that, you don't need any of these supplies at all. You can just unbind your little booklet, which is opening those staples, and stack your pages and just put them under the elastic. You don't have to do these things. This is an extra step. Maybe you have the time, maybe you just want to do it, like to do it. And this is something worth sharing. And I'm sorry, I'm shaking a bit. So this should be going faster than it is. But for me right now, it is simply not going to happen. Sorry if I'm chatting too much. Okay. Now I have already gotten my cover. I've printed off a piece of paper that I liked, and I have roughly cut it to size, and I have put the holes in it. Okay? Now, I haven't 100% decided what I'm going to do, if I'm going to go in between the booklets or if I'm going to go through the center one. I think I'm going to go through the center one. I don't know that the holes will line up. Probably not. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Perhaps would have been a better choice to put it on the back and use the existing holes in the middle as a guide and punch through it with the awl. Oh, here it is, my last one. And so sorry. I should have had like swap out needles, but again, I wasn't thinking. Sorry for the state of my nails. They really need to be repainted. I love those scissors. Okay, something else worth mentioning, like some of these pages, they're not the same size, because when you make one of these booklets, the paper size ends up staggered, because when you fold it, they're different lengths. If you've ever made a booklet and you fold it and you're like, what's going on? Because they make them and then they chump them. So, okay. This is the center booklet, and this is my cover. Can you see the holes? Right. And again, this is just roughly cut to size because I knew it wouldn't be perfect. Let's start in the middle and see what happens. Oh my gosh, no way. Lucky break for me. Will I get so lucky again? Medium. And again, it doesn't need to be perfect because it'll kind of sort itself out. I cut this piece just a smidge bigger than my pages, and it doesn't need to be super tight. So we're just getting them through. You may or may not want to just fast forward through my various struggling here. I will not hold it against you. But you see how simply this goes. It's not this arduous task, and you could just do several at once. Now this one you're going to see again because I am hoping I will be well. I am going to do a plan ahead with me. I have had so many people ask how I plan in advance. And I am happy to share my secrets because I do travel quite a bit, and for me that ends up meaning that I need to plan in advance. I need to be sure that I know when my flights are, that sort of thing, so that I can work other events like doctor's appointments around that. Because I've been unwell, I was at the dentist today and I didn't know what I was doing. I had nothing written down. My weekly spread is blank. That is very much unlike me. Okay, so, yeah, worked out. Okay, so we're at the end, and of course this happened on the one that I goofed on, and I sewed one booklet together with two. This is just two pieces, and then I picked up the other thread that was just hanging around there, and it was the 4 because I didn't just separate them all before I started. So one booklet is kind of like, it has extra thick thread, but that's okay. Again, it hurts nothing. Okay, that's sufficient. And I'm shaking, I'm sorry. So, okay, and there you have it. What I will do after this is, and you have a couple of choices. You could just kind of open it up and trim with your scissors, or I will actually oftentimes just take this and, excuse me for the noise, and just keep going till it works. It'll often go all the way through. Yeah, no, not today because that's the rule, right? Yeah, if I did half of it, I'm sure it would actually. I just have too much stacked up, but usually I can get the whole thing, and ta-da, good enough. So then I will just trim up the top, and I'll round the edges, and you'll see this again. So I hope this helped. And if you have any more questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer. Hey, bye.